Hey, how's it going, everyone? Wow, look at that cute kid. Afro and big old smile. I still have the big old smile. I just don't have the hair. It's okay. This is called wisdom hair. Hi, everyone. My name is Shelton Davis. I am the founder of a company called Empathy Lab, dedicated to cultivating empathy with individuals and with teams and organizations. So why are you listening to me? Well, because we both believe in empathy, and there's a lot of companies out there that do as well. Let's do some current event stuff before we get into Empathy Lab and Empathy Decathlon. Let's talk about the Great Resignation. What is this? It's the time when all of these people are leaving their jobs because they don't feel valued, they don't feel respected, they don't feel seen, heard, you name it, they just don't feel cared for. Employers don't know what to do with this. They don't know how to empathize with this mass leaving of their employment. They call this generation lazy, and it's not lazy. It's not laziness. This is something that's catching up to them. It's called caring. Companies are not caring for the people that are working with them. All right. So this is not a new thing. This is something that has been in research for a while now. A company called Business Solver in 2020 kind of predicted this was going to happen. They revealed that 83% of individuals surveyed would leave their job for a more empathetic company. Leave their job for a more empathetic company. That's huge. Not for more money, but for a place that cared for them, that made them feel safe and heard. Right? So hopefully we can all agree that empathy is a pretty big thing. It can lead to better engagement, better collaboration, better products, more innovation, people staying at a job longer, lower attrition rates, better customer service, better customer retention. It leads to a lot of really good things to have a bunch of employees that feel and individuals that feel heard and cared for. Now, so then what happens when it's missing? Exhaustion is one of the things that happens when it's missing. It can lead to a culture led by assumption. There's discontent. There's a lack of psychological safety. Harassment, turnover, bad customer experiences, bad products, bad innovation, a lot of money loss. A lot of bad things can happen. Not so good things can happen. And more than just a sad culture and a bad output of product, it impacts life. Now, I did mention psychological safety, but it's been researched and well understood that physicians that lack empathy or healthcare organizations that lack empathy have more unnecessary more unnecessary death. I even hate saying it out loud. Malpractice lawsuits. There's bad things that happen when you're not cared for in a hospital system. Bad things happen when you're not cared for in a company or organization or community. So what do we do about this? Not all is lost, all right? Not all is lost. And I'm sorry for shouting. I'm excited over here. Because you're here, you think that something can be done. And I'm telling you something can be done. And it's practice, and it's a practice of things that are simple and a practice of things that will get uncomfortable. So let me take you through a real life metaphor of myself and how it turned into Empathy Lab's framework. So a long time ago, when I had hair, but not when I was 3. When I had hair, I was a decathlete. That's 10 events, 2 days. And these events are very different. You go from things like long jump to shot put. You go from hurdling something to throwing a discus. You're going to get uncomfortable learning all these new skills. And the only way that I was able to learn them was in small baby steps, repetitive practices, not getting frustrated with myself, getting sometimes frustrated with myself, but being okay with discomfort in uncomfortable situations. Believing in the process. Right? This has inspired me to help other people realize the power of this type of practice when it's in small little pieces. All right. Now, I no longer decathlete. I've been practicing as a user experience designer for the past 15 years. The decathlon is still inside me, which means that I still believe in practice, and I believe that it takes uncomfortable things uncomfortable practice to make things happen sometimes. So I have a degree in psychology and in industrial design, and empathy for my work has been the cornerstone. This makes it so I can do my job. I have to listen to users, I have to listen to the business, I have to listen to my teammates and my coworkers in order to build something together. And it's a wonderful process. I've put a lot of great things into the world. The process is difficult when trying to go through an organization that doesn't really care for you, that is not empathetic, that has a lack of it in their culture. And even so, like when you're in a culture that does not truly care, it's hard to start caring for yourself. So a lot of us didn't have self-empathy, didn't have empathy for ourselves. This has led me to this understanding of lack of empathy within the team structure and company culture, and lack of empathy practice as an individual practice has led me to something called the Empathy Decathlon. Now, if you recall, I talked about the simple skills that helped me over time practice and get better at certain things like the shot put. Well, the Empathy Decathlon is the same way. Simple skills that help people and individuals and teams improve the way that they approach empathy. All right. Now, these are just sketches. You don't know what they are, so I'm going to tell you about them. The first 5 skills are me empathy. How do I empathize with myself? I have to put my oxygen mask on first before I can help other people. That's a very serious thing. So the first 5 skills consist of checking with your energy, checking in with your baggage, your overall self-awareness, where am I in the world, an inventory, which is the 4th, is a pause step, inventory of like, where have I been, how's my energy, how's my baggage, where's my self-awareness, so that I can hear people on the outside. I can hear my teammates, I can hear the customers, all right? And we teach good listening behavior. So the second 5, so we've just done me, and now we're moving into we empathy. Within we empathy, again, 5 skills, 5 plus 5 is 10. The second 5 skills are interpersonal. We have to do it with another individual, right? And so these include responding, which is number 6, asking good questions for clarification, number 7, pausing again to interpret the meaning of what we just gathered, right? You don't want to just blow through and just assume you have everything. We need to pause sometimes to let the group, the collective, figure out, are we all on the same page? Right? Once we get there, we get into feedback, which is number 9, and then empathetic leadership, which is number 10. Got it? So 5 me skills that support, that are the foundation of the 5 we skills. Now, it sounds like common sense, right? It's not rocket science. I'm not telling you to do anything crazy. I am asking you to be a better listener so you can hear. I am asking you to check in with yourself so you don't bring in like an angry, ego-driven individual into a conversation. I'm asking you to give good feedback and ask clarification-like questions. So why is it so hard for us to do these things? Well, it's because we really haven't formally been taught how to do this. We've been taught in elementary school or whatever like primary school you went to, we've been taught to be a good listener. Listen to the teacher, listen to your friends. But we've also learned a lesson, and we've learned this in corporate America or in whatever business setting that you might be in, that being cutthroat actually gets you a promotion as well. So what do you do with this? You are kind of in a survival mode. I want to move up ranks. I want to get the great grades. I want to have the corner office. But how do you get there? Let's not use the cutthroat methodology. Let's start doing this through empathy. All right. So let me bring the decathlon, the athletic decathlon, back in. Hold on. This is a 16-pound shot. It's a weird thing to throw around because it's heavy and it's round and you're not used to throwing this thing. But you take small little steps to learn how to throw a shot put. Just like the high jump. It's not natural running at a bar and jumping backwards over it. It's not natural. You take small steps to learn how to do it. I had to practice getting this shot put in my hand, putting it right here, lifting my arm and throwing it as far as I could. I'm not gonna do it in here, I'll break a window. And then my wife will get mad at me. Anyways, it takes time. And it takes practice over and over and over again to make it feel smooth, to make it feel easy, to get muscle memory with empathy, muscle memory and mental memory so that you can show up as a more empathetic individual. So in summary, if you want to build a more empathetic culture, you just need to be willing to get a little uncomfortable and be willing to practice small things over and over and over and over and over and over again, right? Small things, easy, become rituals. So, let's practice something. I'm going to lead you through I'm going to give you an example of how I practice with the first two skills. And I do this with a group every week on Wednesdays at a thing called Empathy Stand-Up. We check in with our energy and baggage. We write it down on a piece of paper. We take about 5 minutes to write it down on a piece of paper. And then, and this is kind of what it looks like. That's mine. And one column is for energy, one column is for baggage. And then we share. And you know what's interesting? No one likes to share their baggage. Yeah. But this is really for us to write it down and understand what's weighing us back so that we can look at it and be like, do we need to do something about it? But the nice thing about doing this as a group setting, at first it was a little bit awkward, didn't want to share, but over time we did the work, we did the practice. Week after week we started opening up and sharing things that were holding us back. And then we listened to each other. We were empathetic with each other. And then we shared the things that were bringing us energy. Like, I had a really good cup of coffee, and everyone's like, yeah! Or, I got rid of this baggage, and everyone's like, yeah! So through repetition, we share our empathy and our baggage with ourselves, really. And then, if we're comfortable enough, we share it with each other. But this act of doing this all of the time is the practice. All right? The other thing I want to share with you is meaning making. Now, if you recall, meaning is another pause. It's in the we skills of the Empathy Decathlon. It's another pause in the process of I've heard, I've listened, I've responded, I've asked clarifying questions, and now it's time to pause. This is it's real weird to have pauses in conversations now, isn't it? We want to fill it with talking and noise, but sometimes a lot of individuals need that space to let things settle, let their heart rate go down, give themselves the ability to mentally, cognitively, all right, I heard this, I did that, and this is what I heard. We need that time to pause. So I have to tell people when I do this pause that, hey, I'm not zoned out. I'm here. I'm taking the moment to reflect on what you shared with me so that I can be not just a good listener, but a good partner in this conversation, right? It can get a little uncomfortable, but over time, once you pause for yourself and pause for your group, you're going to start realizing that you're going to have much richer conversations. All right. Sometimes in that silence, I also decide I'm done. I need to exit this conversation. I'm either have no more energy. I have a load of baggage on that's weighing me down, and I let them know, hey, I thank you for sharing. I want to respond. I'm not in the right mindset. Let's catch up tomorrow or later on today. And sometimes I decide to give feedback after this silence. I'm like, all right, here's what I heard. Are you open to some feedback? I have some really great things I'd love to share with you and see if it works. So we have to take this silence and use it as go forward or not. This is the whole process that we walk teams through in the Empathy Decathlon over and over and over again. Checking in with me empathy, checking in with we empathy, practicing each of these micro skills as much as we can. We practice it with individuals, teams, and hopefully we can integrate this into the fabric of their community as empathy practitioners. All right? So, empathy is like we're trying to build empathy muscles, the powerful empathy muscles. And why is it worthwhile? I made a company called Empathy Lab because I believe in it. I believe it's one of the most important and valuable tools in our community-based world, this society that we live in order to get through life's challenges and uncomfortable experiences. It's the most powerful self-building and community-building element that we have. I like to think of one of my heroes, the late John Lewis. He's known for that the thought of get in good trouble, right? Now, empathy is good trouble. It is putting yourself out there so that you can hear things that are different, hear things that are a little bit uncomfortable, so that we can like collectively make a better tomorrow. All right, I truly believe in this. So what I know is that you've been uncomfortable before, and you've lived through it. You've lived through uncomfortable situations. You know why I know this? Because you're here. Like, we all are going to be living through more uncomfortable situations. And I'm sorry to say that, but it's just life. Now, what matters is how you choose what uncomfortable conversations and uncomfortable experiences that you take on, right? Rather than being just reactive to uncomfortable situations, how can you be more proactive to set yourself up for a little bit more joy, a little bit more success, a little bit less stress? All right. So what I want you to do is take baby steps, small steps, like the ones that I shared earlier. Check in with your energy, check in with your baggage. Do this daily, write it down, check it out after a few days and realize, oh, there's patterns to my energy, there's patterns to my baggage. Also, within meaning making in the we empathy, give your team time to think about the discussion you're in. Practice pausing to make meaning. All right. Now, you don't have to do this alone. I promise you don't do this alone. I'm here. Empathy is a dance. You don't have to do it by yourself, and you shouldn't do it by yourself. You need a partner in order to learn what you don't know. You need a coach. You need something. And it doesn't have to be me, but I am here. Empathy Lab is here for you. We have books. We have books to reference. We have links. We have many resources. We have many people that practice this in different ways that we agree with, because it's all to the same greater good of building a more empathetic culture. We have weekly stand-ups, like I told you earlier, where we check in with each other and do the same practice every Wednesday. We have one-on-one coaching, which is called One with One, actually, and we have team workshops. So practice empathy. Baby steps. Check in with yourself. Check in with your team. And we're going to always be here. I will be here to cheer you on as you get uncomfortable and continue your empathy practice. All right? Thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy.